current sort of circumstances, he was kind of left with no option. Otherwise, it would have been more of a disaster than it already is. I sincerely hope it won't have too much of an adverse effect, although I feel that it will, and I think we will see a return to the Troubles. And it was extremely disappointing that a naive and short-sighted government for their own short-sighted ends, has brought such turmoil back to this country. It's dreadful, and I'm very, very sorry for what's happened.
No, I'm not surprised, because that's the way in which the EU does business. They always bring in deals at the very last minute, and so the timing wasn't a surprise. If the question is it a surprise that Johnson wanted a deal, I think he always made it fairly clear that for choice he'd have a deal, but that he was willing to walk away if a tolerable deal wasn't available. I think that it takes the sting out of the Northern Ireland Protocol, because the arrangements to create regulatory divergence across the Irish Sea no longer apply with quite the same force. So although it's something of an irritant, the NIP is still something of an irritant, it's no longer the irritant that it might have been had there been no deal.
A lot of it is posturing, isn't it?
Yeah.
I think it'll be okay. I didn't want to leave the EU, but I wasn't really worried that it wouldn't work, if you see what I mean. Just a different way of doing things, I guess. About that. I don't know enough about Northern Ireland, so I can't really, I wouldn't want to comment on that, because I guess there are political implications there.
Yeah. Thank
I think it'll affect Great Britain and Northern Ireland in terms of being beneficial to trade. I think Northern Ireland would have been affected in any case by the border in the Irish Sea, and I'm not necessarily sure I'm in favour of that, but that's the way things have turned out. I guess Northern Ireland probably has the best of both worlds.
Right direction. I think it is. We need healing, and I think it's great news that we found a resolution rather than walked away with no deal, because it gives a bad message to the next generation, because we've got to get people to reconcile and find a good way forward. So I think anything that shows that we are prepared to reconcile and go forward, I think that's great to me.
And do you think this could...
That he got a deal.
Yesterday, that he got a deal.
That he got a deal, eventually got a deal.
I'm sort of surprised that he actually wanted one. I always thought he was going for a no-deal Brexit, but I'm not surprised that the EU ultimately agreed to getting one. Yeah, because it makes more sense for both sides. So I haven't seen the details yet, but I would be very much surprised if it were good news for the UK in terms of the integrity of the UK. I think it's going to be, there's going to be a border in the Irish Sea, and that's not going to be good for the country. I think, like Nicola Sturgeon has been very clear, right? They're taken out of the EU against their will. Indy Ref 2 is on the cards. We shall see. I don't think it's good news. It's going to create division in the country.